Hello, everyone. We're going to be talking about the parent-teen driving meeting. Instead of attending in person this year, we're going to have it recorded virtually. Um, so hopefully you can follow along and gain some important information from this presentation. At the end of this presentation, there will be a certificate to print out and bring to your student's driver's education teacher to complete the requirements for this course. Again, parents are the key for safe driving. We'll talk about teen driving risks as well as the teenage brain, how to get your learner's permit as well as teaching your teen how to drive, the graduated licensing requirements, other considerations that affect teens, such as fatigue, distractions, alcohol, which thankfully is not as much of an issue anymore, speeding, and choice of automobile, as well as interacting with law enforcement. And again, you as parents greatly matter, and we encourage you to create a parent teen driving contract. Again, parents are the key. If you want anything done, car keys are a great way to get it. You want the yard mowed? Here are the keys. If you mow the yard, I'll give you the keys. Do you want good grades? A's and B's, and you get the keys. Those keys are magic. While driving skills are important, they do not reduce risky behaviors. Teen driving risks as well as the teenage brain. Safe driving equals good driving. The teen view, good driving, skilled driving, but not necessarily safe driving. The teens look at it as driving dangerously shows I am a skilled driver, which we all know is not the case. Risks of the teen driver include inexperience, immaturity, thrill seeking. Other teenage passengers are a huge risk. Multitasking, which we know we cannot do. You can focus on one thing at a time. Not using their seatbelts. Distractions, which would go to eating, cell phones, passengers could be a distraction, anything. Fatigue, a lot of times teenagers drive when they've stayed up late at night, or they had a sporting event and got home late, or they were cramming for a test. And the big one that everyone has probably known about is speeding. Teenagers like to have that lead foot. They tend to be more thrill seekers than adults. Nighttime driving, again, that is why, in addition, during the 45 hours of teen driving with their learner's permit, they must also do 15 hours at night. Lack of parental management. I'm sure you all parents do a great job of determining when your student can drive, how much they've learned, all of those things. Alcohol, marijuana, and other drugs are risks. Thankfully, statistics show that those are becoming less of a risk. And the vehicle type, obviously, if they are driving a Corvette, that would be more dangerous than a minivan. Think about this, and the student should know this. The brain does not mature until about age 25, and that is true. The frontal lobes of the brain is the area of the brain that controls understanding consequences and suppressing impulses. This does not mature until about age 25. Notice it said about. It could be longer, it could be earlier. Per year, there are 27 fatalities of teenagers in Virginia. That is an 8% increase over 2019. About 1,500 injuries, and that is from the Department of Motor Vehicles from 2020. Again, those statistics are usually behind a year. What causes teen crashes? Evidence shows it is not poor driving skills that cause crashes among teen drivers. It is inexperience and attitude. Again, they're not used to driving and they think they're great drivers. Video.
She just loved people. She made friends easy, and she had a lot of friends. Brenda was a good student. She loved to learn. She was really looking forward to going to college. And I never will forget when she had been watching the mail close for her acceptance letter to see if she got into JMU. And she went to the mailbox that day and she came on back. She come through that door and she said, yes, yes, yes. And she opened up the envelope, and she looked and she read it. And I can see her now. She just, yes, 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 she said. It was a beautiful January day. The sky was so pretty and blue and the sun was bright. And it was just a lovely day. And that particular day, she didn't have to be to school till 11 o'clock. She sit there and she ate a bowl of cereal and she changed clothes 3 times before she left. When she got in the truck, she put a seatbelt on. When she sit in a vehicle, if she was going to drive or if she was riding, she always put a seatbelt on. And anyway, that morning the police scanner was on, and I just, in the back of my mind, I heard them say that there had been a bad accident on Route 130. And I get on down there, and there's a fireman in the road, directing traffic, and I can see a truck, and I could see the bumper, and I saw the sticker. And I knew it was our truck. So I pulled over to the side of the road, and I asked that fireman, I said, the little girl driving that truck, I said, is she hurt bad? He said, are you kin to her? I said, yes, I'm her mother. And by that time, 2 rescue squad workers, one got one side of me and one got on the other side. And I said, the little girl driving that truck, I said, is she hurt bad? And the woman said, yes, ma'am. I said, is she dead? She said, yes, ma'am.
In a crash at 30 miles an hour, an adult backseat passenger without a seatbelt is thrown forward with a force of 3.5 tons. The weight of an elephant, charging straight through the driver. You're never safe in the back until you fasten your seatbelt. Never forget.
You know the old adage, you have to look before you leap. Well, the same is true for driving. You have to be able to see where you're going in order to get there safely. Today, I'm going to show you the proper way to adjust your rear and side view mirrors. It seems easy enough. You adjust your mirror so that you can see behind you and everything's great. But I'm going to show you a technique so that you can see into those blind spots coming up from the rear and beside your car. Now, the proper way to adjust your driver's side mirror is to lean your head all the way over until you just about touch the glass, like this. Then adjust your mirror until you see just beyond your car. Just that little sliver? Yeah, you shouldn't see that. You're going to adjust just beyond that. That's going to allow you to see just beyond the blind spot on the driver's side of the car. You don't need to see your car, but you do need to see the lane next to you and see the car that's in it. Now for the passenger side mirror, you want to lean over towards the center of the car as far as you can, and then adjust your mirror again so that you see just beyond the side of your car. This will allow you to see into the 3/4 view blind spot on your passenger side. Now for the rear view mirror, that's simple. Most people do this right. Obviously for this one, you just want to adjust the mirror so that you can see right behind you. Say you're in that car there, and you want to be in this lane. What would you do? You check your side view mirror, you don't see a car there, so you pull on in, but suddenly, boom, there's a car there. Now if your mirror had been properly adjusted, this is what you would have seen. Take a moment to adjust your mirrors properly. A well-adjusted mirror could save your life. I'm Travis Tucker, reminding you to buckle up, adjust your mirrors, and drive safe. Steering is one of the most important and fun things about driving because it puts you in control of the car. Proper hand placement can ensure efficiency and enhance safety when driving. Today we'll learn the proper way to hold a steering wheel, and we'll discuss the push, pull, and slide method for steering. Steering may seem simple, but there are many misconceptions about where to put your hands. Proper hand placement could prevent a crash or serious injury. Think of the steering wheel like a clock. with 12 at the top. Most people think that you should put your hands at 10 and 2. The 10 to 2 hand placement is not ideal because the arms can become tired and it creates unnecessary movement. It also forces the driver to cross their arms when turning. In the event of a crash and airbag deployment, this could cause serious injury. Oh! The proper place to put your hands is actually at 8 and 4. Putting your hands in this position is not only more efficient, but it's also safer. Once our hands are in this position, we can use the push, pull, and slide method for turning. Using the push, pull, slide method, use one hand to push the steering wheel, the other to pull, and then slide your hands to return to the 8 and 4 position. This will prevent your arms from crossing and slamming into your face in case of a crash. These steering techniques that we've reviewed may seem simple, but they're vital to the safe operation of your vehicle. By merely changing your hand placement, you could prevent a crash or a serious injury. Do your part to keep yourself and the roadway safe. Today we're going to talk about one of the frequent causes behind fatal car accidents among seasoned and novice drivers alike. That is, veering off the road and then overcorrecting to try to return back to the road. Let me demonstrate. The natural reaction when you veer off the road is to yank on the steering wheel to get back on the road and slam on the brakes. However, this can cause the car to roll over or veer sharply into oncoming traffic or some other obstacle. The results can be deadly. Everyone needs to be prepared for this situation, and new drivers should practice how to control the car if the car goes off the roadway. Parents should first stress to their new drivers the dangerous consequences of not paying full attention to the job of driving. Driving requires full attention, every second. Talking on the phone, fiddling with the radio, talking to passengers, reaching for a drink, or a multitude of other distractions can cause the driver to veer off the road. It can happen in an instant. Stay focused and alert while driving. However, if this happens, with practice, the proper off-road recovery can be learned. Parents should consider practicing and demonstrating this skill before asking their teenager to do it. Maybe this is something that they've never done before. They could benefit from this as well. First, it's important for a parent to find a straight section of roadway with no traffic and a gravel, dirt, or grass shoulder that's even with the road surface where you can practice. Don't practice this skill on a road that drops off at the edge or has potholes or obstacles on the shoulder. Under these circumstances, the novice driver could easily lose control and do serious damage to your vehicle. Even at slow speeds, dirt or loose gravel can reduce traction, causing the vehicle to slide or skid. So once you have found a place to practice, safely proceed at a very slow speed. First, as the driver steers slightly right, the front right tire will leave the roadway, and the rear right tire will quickly follow. The driver must take his or her foot off the accelerator pedal and not brake, or brake very gently. The vehicle must stay parallel to the paved portion of the road. If the circumstances permit, the novice driver should drive on the shoulder or on the dirt or rumble strip for a period of time to get the feel of the vehicle in this situation. In a real situation, the car may kick up rocks and other debris. Then, the driver should check traffic and ease back onto the road at a slow speed. The main thing to remember is not to panic. Knowing how to react to a situation before it happens is your best defense. I'm Travis Tucker, reminding you to pay attention and drive safely. For the new teenage driver, good driving habits are gained by experience, practice, and following state-graduated licensing laws. Speeding, driving under the influence of alcohol and drugs, not wearing seat belts, and texting while driving are all extremely dangerous and against the law. But there's another distraction that is very dangerous and not as well known: teen passengers. Research reveals that the number of passengers in a teenager's car greatly increases the chances of a crash. In fact, a recent AAA study revealed that one passenger in a car increases the risk of death by 44%. Add one more passenger and that risk doubles. Add another and it quadruples. These are alarming rates and not familiar to many parents. Virginia's graduated driver licensing laws limits the number of passengers that a teen driver can carry during his or her first year of independent driving. Parents, enforce this law. Encourage your teen to abide by passenger restriction laws and make them understand that driving with additional teen passengers puts them at an increased risk of being in a fatal crash. Is it worth the risk?
is Grant Hendricks. I'm a trooper with the Missouri State Highway Patrol. I'm at the site of Mariah West's accident. Mariah's vehicle traveled across this median and ended in striking the bridge that you can see behind me. When I got to the scene, her face was disfigured from sliding down the roadway. It's funny, the first thing I noticed about her was her shoes. Lying in the roadway in a large pool of blood, I noticed her shoes and I thought, this is a young girl. That's the first thing I thought when I saw this. And at that point is when I noticed her cap and gown was still in her car. She was going to graduate the next day. It was just a really horrific scene, all because of a senseless text message. It's just sad. Sorry, it's just sad.
Ashley would text hundreds of messages every day. That was the way we kept in touch. We would definitely text more than we talked.
Mariah was a multitasker extraordinaire.
She could text better than anyone I know. She could be having one conversation with me, completely focused,
while having a text conversation with somebody else.
We would be at school, at home, movies, bowling, driving.
not even looking at her phone.
It didn't matter where we were constantly texting. This is my sister. She was looking at my message that I had just sent her. When she looked up, she had clipped the median on the left-hand side of the road. Her truck flipped, and as it was flipping, she was actually ejected through the driver's side door, and she landed in the ditch about 300 feet from her truck. People will tell you over and over again, it's not your fault. But knowing that you were the person that she was talking to when she was killed. Just knowing, having a highway patrol officer write in a report that a text message sent at 12:05 is the reason that she is dead is not something that will ever go away. If I could talk to her one last time, I would just say, I'm sorry. This is her cell phone that she used in the accident. 4 little letters. That's what killed her.
She paid the ultimate price for her actions. I've had to do this more than once. Mariah is not the only victim that I've dealt with. And it never gets any easier. And it won't get any easier. What is worth losing your life over? That text message?
The number one crash risk for teens is actually inexperience.
Their very riskiest time is the first 6 months of driving. That's when the parent needs to really closely monitor what's happening.
It's important to let her know all the consequences and things that if she doesn't follow through, she'll know what I expect from her. She'll know what she's supposed to do, what's wrong, what's right.
One of the things that's really wonderful about driving is that it is a time when teens and parents have to work together on something.
And the Parent-Teen Driver Agreement is a document that can get parents and teens to begin a conversation about safe driving.
My mom has talked to me about the responsibilities of being a driver and
following the rules.
Yeah, following the rules.
The Parent-Teen Driver Agreement has a basic outline of rules that the teen should follow in order to keep them safe.
We encourage parents to limit the conditions under which teens can drive to daytime, or at least not very late, and 0 or 1 passenger, or no inclement weather driving. Fairly basic things.
And it also lets the teen and the parent work together to set up the consequences.
Let's talk about the consequences.
Curfew violation.
Yeah, we have issues with that one.
What if it's 30 minutes?
No, it's not up for discussion about that. Violation, curfew, you need to just respect that.
It's about progressively giving them privileges as they show that they can handle a highway and many other situations that they're going to be facing.
One of my biggest fears is Deja being distracted while she's driving. I just need her to be focused.
My biggest fears and worries are that I won't drive good enough, or I'll get in a car accident. My mom's expectations are that I just follow whatever she says, follow the law, and be the best driver.
Teens who report that their parents would be very upset with them if they engaged in risky driving behavior report much less risky driving behavior, and they report fewer violations of the law.
If I do something, I can't just talk her out of it because it's on paper. If it wasn't on paper, I could just lie and be like, you never said that. But since it's on paper, I know she's gonna go back a lot and look at it.
Yeah, I might frame it.